Listen closely. The people who hurt you aren't always strangers. Sometimes they are the ones you trusted most. They may have betrayed you, lied to you, or made you feel small. But here's the truth. They only have power if you keep giving it to them. The first rule, control your reaction. They want you angry. They want you broken. The moment you explode, they win. The moment you crumble, they win. Your silence, your composure, that's your victory. Stop chasing closure. You won't get it. They won't suddenly confess, apologize, or admit they were wrong. Waiting for that is like waiting for rain in a desert. Move forward without it. Protect your energy. If someone shows you they don't value you, remove yourself from their reach. Your presence is a privilege, not a punishment. Take that pain and build with it. Train harder, work smarter, become stronger than the version of you they tried to destroy. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove yourself right. Revenge is tempting, but it's poison. You rise by outgrowing them, not becoming them. Let your success echo louder than any insult. Set boundaries that are non-negotiable. If they cross the line, you don't explain, you don't argue, you exit. Forgive, but not for them. Forgive because carrying their weight will break your back. When you release it, you move faster. And finally, focus forward. Every second you spend looking back is a second stolen from your future. What they did is their story. How you respond is yours. So stand tall. Not because they didn't hurt you, but because they didn't break you. They will come for you. Not always with fists. Sometimes with words sharp enough to cut. Sometimes with silence heavy enough to crush. They'll push you, test you, try to make you snap. And here's where most people lose. They give exactly what the other person wants. They react. They explode. They lose their composure. And in that moment, the person who hurt them wins. Understand this. Your reaction is their victory. When you give them your anger, you feed them. When you show them your weakness, you fuel them. But when you stay calm, when you refuse to give them the show they're trying to provoke, you strip them of their power. Your calm is not passivity. Your calm is strategy. Your calm is a weapon they can't touch. People who hurt you want control. They want to see you rattled. Why? Because if they can control how you feel, they can control what you do. That's why you need to break that cycle. You do it by mastering yourself first. You do it by refusing to let anyone dictate your emotional state. It's not easy. It requires discipline. It requires choosing the long game over the quick release of anger. But the payoff? Immense. When you don't react, you force them to sit with their own actions. No deflection, no distraction. Just them, their behavior, and silence that exposes the truth. Silence makes people uncomfortable, especially those who thrive on chaos. Your stillness is like a mirror. They have to face themselves, and most won't like what they see. Holding your composure doesn't mean you feel nothing. You will feel it. The sting of betrayal, the heat of rage, the pull to defend yourself, that's normal. But strength is not the absence of emotion, it's the ability to direct it. You take that energy, and instead of wasting it on a shouting match, you channel it into building yourself, into training harder, working smarter, rising higher. Every ounce of anger becomes fuel for growth. This is where most people misunderstand. They think not reacting makes them weak. They think calm means defeat. They're wrong. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can throw insults. But to stand in the face of disrespect and hold your ground without losing yourself, that's power. That's dominance. Because now they're the ones exposed. They can't pull you into their storm, so they have to sit in it alone. Think about the greatest warriors, leaders, and survivors in history. They didn't waste energy on petty battles. They conserved it for the wars that mattered. They knew that not every attack deserves a counterattack. Some battles are won by simply refusing to fight on your enemy's terms. When someone hurts you, you're standing at a crossroad. One path is reaction. Instant, raw, and satisfying for a moment, but costly in the long run. The other is restraint. Painful in the moment, but priceless in its results. Reaction gives them control. Restraint gives it back to you. The world is watching you more than you think. Every time you handle conflict, you're teaching people how to treat you. If you explode, they'll learn that you're easy to unbalance. If you stay composed, they'll learn that you are unshakable. People respect what they cannot break. This doesn't mean you tolerate abuse. It means you choose your timing. You choose your battlefield. You don't let emotion drag you into a fight you didn't plan for. You act when it benefits you, not when they want you to. That's the difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is emotional. Response is intentional. Let them talk. Let them lie. Let them try. Every word, every move they make will expose them more than you ever could. Because when you're calm, the contrast becomes clear. You're the mountain. They're the storm breaking against it. The discipline to control your reaction is built in small moments. The text message that makes your blood boil. You don't send a reply. The insult that burns in your ears. You don't bite back. The betrayal that makes your chest tighten. You don't run to expose them. You breathe. You watch. You let time do what anger never could. Reveal everything. This is how you win without fighting. This is how you walk away without losing. The greatest revenge is not rage. It's indifference. It's the refusal to let their actions dictate your peace. It's looking them in the eye and knowing they no longer have the power to move you. And here's the truth. They will hate that more than any insult you could ever throw. Because you didn't just survive what they did. You didn't just walk away. You walked away stronger, untouched, unshaken. You showed them that while they may have had the power to hurt you, they never had the power to break you. So when they come for you again, and they will, remember this. Your calm is not weakness. Your calm is armor. Your calm is a weapon sharper than any words they can spit at you. And when you master that, you stop playing their game. You make them play yours. And in your game, you always win. They hurt you. They walked away. And now you want answers. You want to know why they did it, what you did wrong, what you could have done differently. You want them to admit it, to confess, to give you some neat packaged ending so you can move on. But here's the truth. Closure is not what you think it is. Closure is not healing. Closure is their comfort, not yours. And if you wait for it, you're giving them the keys to your future. When you chase closure, you're chasing their permission to let go. You're handing them the power to decide when you stop hurting. And that is the last thing you should ever give to the person who broke you. They already took enough from you, your trust, your time, your peace. Why give them your ability to move forward? People don't always tell the truth when they give you closure. Sometimes they lie to protect themselves. Sometimes they twist the story to make you feel guilty. Sometimes they give you half-truths that only make you question yourself more. You think you want their explanation, but what you're really doing is inviting them to rewrite the past in a way that benefits them. And the more you listen, the more you risk believing their version over your own reality. The pain you feel doesn't end when they explain themselves. It ends when you decide to stop letting what they did control you. That decision has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. You don't need their words to heal. You don't need their apology to grow. You don't need them to validate the fact that they hurt you. You already know they did. The desire for closure comes from a good place. You want to understand. You want to make sense of the chaos. But here's the thing. Not everything will make sense. Some people hurt you because they're careless. Some hurt you because they're selfish. Some hurt you simply because they can. There's no logic to it. And waiting for them to give you a satisfying reason is like waiting for a thief to return what they stole and apologize for taking it. It's not going to happen. The longer you wait for closure, the longer you stay tied to them. Every unanswered question is a chain. Every replay of the past is another knot around your neck. You think you're seeking clarity, but you're actually holding yourself hostage. And the only way out is to cut the rope yourself. Not gently, not slowly, but all at once. When you stop chasing closure, something changes. You start building your life without waiting for their approval. You stop checking your phone for that text that will never come. You stop crafting the perfect words to send to them in hopes they'll finally understand how they hurt you. You stop giving your energy to someone who has already shown they don't deserve it. You don't need to hear them say they're sorry. You don't need to hear them admit they were wrong, because whether they say it or not, the truth doesn't change. Your healing doesn't depend on their honesty. It depends on your decision to take your life back. Sometimes closure is silence. Sometimes closure is the moment you stop explaining your pain to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes closure is accepting that you will never know the full truth and being okay with that. That's not weakness, that's power. That's reclaiming your peace. They may move on without giving you anything, and that's fine. You move on without taking anything from them. Your life is too valuable to be spent waiting at a door that's been slammed shut. If they wanted to explain, they would have. If they wanted to apologize, they would have. If they wanted to make it right, they would have. They didn't. So stop waiting for a version of them that doesn't exist. When you let go of the need for closure, you become dangerous to them, because now you can't be pulled back. They can't dangle words over you like bait. They can't use your desire for answers as a way to keep you in their orbit. You've stepped out of their game entirely, and the moment you do that, you've already won. Closure is a myth that keeps people stuck. Real closure is not something you get from them, it's something you give yourself. It's waking up one day and deciding, this is not going to define me anymore. It's cutting the connection in your mind, even if the memories still burn. It's refusing to let them have the final say on your life. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it feels incomplete, but that's what makes it powerful. You're not waiting for a perfect ending, you're writing your own. And the beauty of that is, they don't get to be the author. You do. So don't chase closure. Don't waste another second trying to get them to acknowledge your worth. You already know your worth. You already know your truth. And you already have everything you need to heal without their help, without their words, without their blessing. Walk away without looking back. Leave them with their silence, their lies, their excuses. Let them live in the world they've built for themselves. You've got your own life to create. And that life doesn't need their signature to begin. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone earns the right to be in your space, hear your thoughts, or feel your presence. The problem is, most people give their energy away like it's unlimited. Answering every call, entertaining every conversation, showing up for people who wouldn't even cross the street for them. And then they wonder why they feel drained, empty, and powerless. Your energy is your lifeline. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. You have to understand that your time, your emotions, and your presence are currency. When you give them to the wrong people, you bankrupt yourself. And once you're depleted, you have nothing left for the things and people that actually matter. That's why the most powerful thing you can do when someone hurts you is to cut off their access to you, not out of revenge, out of self-respect. Stop picking up the phone for people who only call when they need something. Stop answering messages from those who've proven they can't respect you. Stop giving emotional reactions to people who thrive on your frustration. Every time you engage with them, you're handing them a piece of yourself, and they'll take all they can until there's nothing left. Protecting your energy means being ruthless about who and what gets your attention. It's not selfish, it's survival. The wrong people will drain you so slowly you won't even notice, until you're too tired to fight back. They'll chip away at your patience, your kindness, your focus, and your peace. And once you're weakened, they'll either keep taking or leave you broken. That's why you don't wait until you're empty. You set the boundaries now. Some people will accuse you of being cold, distant, or arrogant when you pull back. Let them. That's their way of trying to guilt you into lowering your guard so they can get back in. But here's the reality. If your absence feels cold, it's only because your presence was warm. They miss what you gave, but they didn't value it when they had it. Protecting your energy also means you stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't owe them a speech. You don't owe them closure. You don't owe them a seat at your table just because they want it. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. And once someone proves they can't handle that privilege, you take it away. Without warning, without apology. The most dangerous people to your peace aren't always loud. Some are subtle, they plant out, they take without asking. They constantly shift the focus to themselves. They may never shout or insult you directly, but every interaction leaves you a little more drained than before. These are the people you need to guard against most, because they hide their damage under the mask of just being concerned or just being honest. Protecting your energy means recognizing these patterns and walking away before they sink in their hooks. You have to treat your mental and emotional space like a fortress. You decide who gets in. You decide how long they stay. And you decide when they go. You don't need their approval to protect yourself. In fact, you should expect them to be upset when you finally cut them off. Why? Because losing access to your energy means losing the control they had over you. And they won't like that. When you withdraw access, you take back power. You stop playing their game. You stop feeding their ego with your attention. You stop letting their moods dictate your day. Instead of reacting to them, you focus on building yourself. Every ounce of energy you save from not engaging with them is energy you can use to level up, physically, mentally, financially, spiritually. People think the opposite of love is hate. It's not. The opposite of love is indifference. When you no longer give them space in your mind, they fade. They lose their grip. They can't pull you into their storms because you're not even standing near the water anymore. That's what protecting your energy really looks like. You're not just avoiding harm, you're removing yourself from the battlefield entirely. And here's the truth. When you start protecting your energy, your circle will shrink. That's not a loss. That's a filter. The ones who stay are the ones who deserve to be there. The ones who leave were never meant to last. You'll find that life feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your path sharper when you're not carrying the weight of people who drain you. Protecting your energy doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting people use your care against you. It means you stop being available to those who wouldn't do the same for you. It means you stop pouring into cups that have holes in the bottom. You save your time, your heart, and your effort for those who value it, and for the goals that truly matter to you. So withdraw access without warning, without explanation, without guilt. The people who deserve you will never make you feel bad for protecting yourself. The ones who do, let them talk. Let them twist the story. Let them play the victim. That noise doesn't touch you anymore. You're too busy building a life they'll never be part of. Because the ultimate power move isn't proving them wrong. It's making them irrelevant. And the fastest way to do that is simple. Protect your energy like your future depends on it. Because it does. Pain changes you. It either breaks you or it builds you. What happened to you can either become the excuse for why you stay down or the reason you rise higher than ever before. The difference is simple. You decide. You choose whether the pain becomes a chain that holds you or fuel that drives you. And if you're smart, you'll take every ounce of hurt, every betrayal, every loss, and turn it into something they never saw coming. Pain is information. It shows you where you were vulnerable, where you trusted too much, where you ignored the signs. It's a teacher, but only if you stop seeing yourself as a victim. You can cry over the lesson, or you can learn from it. You can keep replaying the scene in your head. Or you can study it like a map, looking for the weak spots, the openings, the truths you missed. That's how you make sure you never get hit the same way twice. When you turn pain into power, you don't deny what happened. You acknowledge it. You face it head on. You feel it, but you don't let it consume you. You take the raw emotion and convert it into action. You hit the gym harder. You focus on your work with more intensity. You sharpen your skills. You double down on every area of your life they underestimated. You stop trying to prove something to them, and you start proving everything to yourself. Some people let pain define them. They wear it like a badge, constantly talking about what they've been through as if the suffering itself is the achievement. That's not strength. That's stagnation. Strength is when no one has to hear the details, because the results speak for themselves. Strength is when your comeback makes your pain look like a small part of your story, not the whole thing. Turning pain into power means you use it as leverage. You take the energy of the hurt, because pain is energy, and you decide where it goes. You can waste it on anger, or you can invest it in building the life you want. And the moment you start doing that, the pain stops being a wound and starts being a weapon. Think about the most successful people you know. Almost every one of them has a story of loss, betrayal, or failure that could have destroyed them. But they didn't stop there. They built something from it. They took the pain and used it as motivation to work while others slept, to train when others quit, to push when others back down. That's why they win. Your pain is your proof that you can survive. If you live through it, you can use it. Every bad day becomes a reason to create a better one. Every person who doubted you becomes a reminder to keep going. Every moment you thought you couldn't take another step becomes the fuel for your next leap. Pain doesn't weaken you. It strips away everything unnecessary until only the strong parts remain. But here's the truth. Most people don't turn pain into power because they get stuck in the story. They replay it over and over, feeding it, keeping it alive. They wait for time to heal them, not realizing that time does nothing without action. You can sit in pain for years and still be exactly where you were the day it happened. Power doesn't come from waiting. Power comes from movement. You have to make a choice. Either your pain will run your life, or you will run your pain. When you run it, you decide how it's used. You decide that the betrayal becomes the reason you build stronger boundaries. The loss becomes the reason you value life more. The failure becomes the reason you sharpen your focus. Everything gets recycled into something useful. And there's another advantage. You become harder to break. Once you've trained yourself to take hits and get stronger from them, fear starts to disappear. You stop worrying about what people will do to you, because you know that whatever it is, you'll find a way to use it. That makes you untouchable in a way that money, status, or talent never could. When the people who hurt you see you thriving, they'll think you moved on. But you'll know the truth. You didn't just move on. You built an empire on the ashes. You didn't just recover. You evolved. And nothing scares people more than someone they couldn't destroy becoming someone they can't reach. Turning pain into power isn't a one-time act. It's a mindset. Every setback becomes raw material. Every insult becomes a spark. Every door slammed in your face becomes the push to find another entrance or build your own. You stop wasting time wishing things were different and start creating something better than you ever imagined. So take the pain. Don't hide from it. Don't bury it. Don't pretend it didn't happen. Look at it, own it, and then decide, this is fuel. This is fire. This is mine now. And I will use it until there's nothing left of it, until it's completely burned out and replaced with strength, skill, and self-respect. Because at the end of the day, the people who win aren't the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who take it, twist it, and make it work for them. They're the ones who understand that pain is inevitable, but weakness is a choice. And you're not here to choose weakness. You're here to turn every wound into a weapon, every loss into leverage, every scar into a story of victory. That's how you take what was meant to break you and use it to build yourself into someone unbreakable. They hurt you. They disrespected you. They took something from you that you can never get back. And your first instinct? You want to make them feel it. You want them to taste the same pain they gave you. That's normal. That's human. But it's also the fastest way to lose. Because the moment you start chasing revenge, you're no longer focused on your own life. You're focused on theirs. And when they can pull you into their world, they've already won. Revenge feels satisfying in your head. You imagine the moment you get them back, the look on their face when it hits them. But here's the truth. It's empty. It doesn't heal you. It doesn't give you your time back. It doesn't undo the damage. All it does is tie you to them longer. And every second you spend plotting against them is a second you're not building something better for yourself. The greatest revenge isn't hurting them. It's making them irrelevant. It's outgrowing them so completely that they can't even reach the life you've built. It's becoming so far ahead that their existence doesn't touch yours anymore. That's real power. Because you're not just proving a point, you're proving that they were never capable of stopping you in the first place. When you choose not to seek revenge, it's not weakness. It's control. It's discipline. It's refusing to play by their rules. People who hurt you want you emotional. They want you reactive. They want you making mistakes so they can point at you and say, see, I told you they were like this. When you stay focused on your own path, you deny them that satisfaction. You show them that you are not theirs to manipulate. Outgrowing someone isn't about pretending they never existed. It's about making sure their actions no longer have power over you. It's about turning all that energy you could waste on revenge into building your strength, your skills, your future. Because nothing silences an enemy faster than success they can't match. Think about it. If you go after them, you're lowering yourself to their level. You're stepping into their arena where they know the rules, where they have the advantage. But if you rise above, you're playing a game they can't win. They can talk, they can gossip, they can lie. But while they're busy with that, you're leveling up, stacking wins, moving further out of their reach with every step. The hardest part about not seeking revenge is walking away when you know you could get even. That takes more strength than hitting back ever will. Anyone can lash out in anger. It takes a different kind of power to keep your eyes on your own goals while the people who wronged you sit in the mess they made. And here's something most people never realize. Life has a way of catching up to people. Their actions will return to them with or without you. You don't have to be the one to deliver justice. You just have to trust that the world has a way of balancing itself. In the meantime, you put your head down and keep building. When they see you succeed without them, it burns deeper than anything you could do directly. Because success is proof. Proof that they didn't break you. Proof that their opinion of you didn't matter. Proof that you never needed them to win. And they'll have to live with the fact that the best part of your life happened after they were gone. Revenge feeds your ego. Success feeds your future. And the future is what matters. Every time you choose success over revenge, you're investing in a life where their name means nothing. You're creating distance. You're creating peace. You're creating something so strong that no betrayal can touch it. Let them think they got away with it. Let them believe they won. While they're stuck in the same place, you're building a world they'll never step into. That's the sweetest revenge there is. Not that you hurt them back, but that they can't hurt you anymore. And one day, they'll look up and realize they can't reach you. Not because you're hiding, not because you're running, but because you're too far ahead. You've built something bigger than them, bigger than the pain, bigger than the past. That's how you win. Not with a strike, but with a life so powerful it makes their actions irrelevant. So don't waste your energy on getting even. Use it to get ahead. Use it to create a life so full, so strong, and so untouchable that they become nothing more than a memory that doesn't sting anymore. Because the moment they can't reach you is the moment you've truly won. And that victory will last far longer than any revenge ever could. There comes a point when words don't matter anymore. You've explained yourself. You've been patient. You've given chances. And still, they cross the line. When that happens, you don't talk. You act. Because a boundary that isn't enforced is just a suggestion, and suggestions get ignored. If you want respect, you set boundaries that are non-negotiable. And when someone crosses them, you make it clear this is the last time. Boundaries aren't about controlling others. They're about controlling yourself, your space, your time, your energy, your peace. They are the rules you set for how people are allowed to treat you, and the moment someone violates them, you have a choice. You either stand firm, or you teach them they can get away with it. The way you handle that moment determines how they treat you for the rest of your life. Too many people treat boundaries like warnings, empty threats that vanish when tested. They say, don't do this again, but when it happens again, they explain, forgive, and carry on like nothing happened. That's not a boundary. That's an invitation for disrespect. Real boundaries have consequences, and consequences mean action, not words. When you act decisively, you send a message. Once is all it takes. You don't need to argue. You don't need to justify. You don't need to give a detailed speech about why you're stepping back. You simply make the move. You stop engaging. You stop showing up. You close the door, and you don't leave it unlocked just in case. They will notice the silence. They will notice your absence, and they will know exactly why. Setting non-negotiable boundaries means accepting that some people will be gone for good. That's the price of protecting yourself. You can't keep everyone in your life and still keep your peace. The ones who leave when you enforce your limits were never truly on your side. They were on their side, as long as you were convenient for them. Let them go. A lot of people fear setting hard boundaries because they don't want to be harsh or cold. But boundaries aren't cruelty, they're clarity. They tell people exactly where you stand. They remove the guessing game. The people who respect you will respect your boundaries. The ones who don't were never going to treat you well no matter what you allowed. Permanent action is where most people fail. They remove someone from their life. But then loneliness, guilt, or manipulation pulls them back in. And every time you let someone back after they've crossed your line, you teach them that the line is flexible. That's why your boundaries must be non-negotiable. Not maybe later, not we'll see, not this time only. Once crossed, it's done. You're done. The truth is, boundaries are not about punishing others. They're about protecting yourself. And the more you enforce them, the less you'll have to explain yourself. People learn. They see you mean what you say. And eventually, only those who can respect your limits will remain in your space. Decisive action also prevents small problems from becoming big ones. When someone disrespects you and you let it slide, it never stops there. They will push further next time. They will test you again. And by the time you finally act, the damage will be deeper. But when you respond immediately, you shut it down before it grows. You make it clear that you are not someone to be tested. Permanent means permanent. This is where strength gets tested. It's easy to block someone in the heat of anger. It's harder to keep them blocked when the emotions settle. But if you want true respect, you have to follow through even when it's uncomfortable. You have to be willing to walk away and not look back. The people who truly care about you will adapt to your boundaries. They may not like them, but they'll respect them. The ones who push back, guilt trip, or try to twist the narrative are showing you exactly why those boundaries were necessary in the first place. Believe them the first time they show you. Every time you set a boundary and enforce it, you strengthen yourself. You show the world and yourself that you are not desperate for company, approval, or validation. You're willing to stand alone rather than stand in disrespect. That's the kind of strength people notice. That's the kind of strength people can't manipulate. When your boundaries are clear and non-negotiable, life gets simpler. You don't waste time wondering if someone meant to hurt you. You don't give endless second chances. You don't carry the weight of people who only take. You know your limits, and you stick to them. That clarity is freedom. So when the line is crossed, act, not next week, not after one more talk. Act now. Act without warning. Act without apology. Because in that moment, you are not just removing someone from your life. You are teaching yourself that you are worth protecting. And the more you practice that, the more unstoppable you become. Respect isn't given to the most forgiving person in the room. It's given to the one who refuses to be disrespected twice. They think forgiveness is about them. It never was. Forgiveness is the key you turn to unlock your own prison. The longer you hold on to anger, resentment, and the need to replay what they did, the more you're chained to the very person who hurt you. You might think holding on to the pain gives you control, but in reality, it's controlling you. It's shaping your thoughts, your mood, your day, even when they're nowhere near you. That's the cruelest part. They may have moved on while you're still carrying the weight of what they did. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing their actions. It doesn't mean letting them back into your life. It doesn't mean telling them it's okay. It means saying, you will not live rent-free in my head anymore. It's the conscious choice to stop giving your energy to the past and start investing it into your present and future. When you forgive for your own freedom, you're not doing it to make them feel better. You're doing it to make yourself lighter, stronger, untouchable. Holding on to hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. You think it's protecting you, but it's eating you alive. Every moment you replay their betrayal, you relive it. Every time you tell the story to yourself, you bleed again from a wound that could have healed. Forgiveness is how you stop the bleeding. It's not weakness, it's strength. Weak people can't let go. They cling to the pain because it gives them a false sense of purpose. Strong people say, I'm done letting this own me. When you forgive, you're not saying they deserve peace. You're saying, I deserve peace. And you deserve mornings without bitterness, nights without replaying arguments, days not colored by old pain. You deserve to laugh without the echo of their voice in your head. You deserve to live a life where their chapter is closed and can't be reopened. Forgiveness for freedom is active. It's not just a feeling. It's a decision you have to renew every time the memory tries to sneak back in. It's telling yourself, I've let this go, and then living in a way that proves it. That means cutting ties if you need to. That means stopping the late-night stalking of their social media. That means no longer talking about them to people who fuel your anger. You stop feeding the beast. Some people won't understand this kind of forgiveness because they think it's about reconciliation. It's not. It's about reclaiming your life. Reconciliation is optional. Forgiveness is essential for you. And when you finally do it, something shifts. The heaviness leaves. The power they once had over your emotions evaporates. They can no longer trigger you because they no longer own a piece of you. The ultimate act of revenge is not revenge at all. It's living so well, so free, so beyond their reach that they become irrelevant. That's what real freedom feels like. You no longer define yourself by what happened. You define yourself by what you've become after it. You rise from the ashes, and they are no longer even part of your story, because your story has moved so far beyond them. Forgiveness is the release of the anchor that's been keeping you stuck. Without it, you sail forward. You go places they'll never see, live joys they'll never know, and become a version of yourself that could only emerge when you stopped carrying the weight of their wrongdoing. So no, forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. The you that's ready to be free, unstoppable, and untouchable. The you that knows peace is worth more than revenge. The you that's done letting pain dictate the next chapter. The you that's ready to take the pen back and write something so powerful that their name is never mentioned again. Because that's real victory. They want you stuck in the past. They want your thoughts tangled in the knot of what they did, your focus pulled away from where you're going. That's how they win, by making you believe their shadow is worth your attention. But here's the truth. The more you look back, the more you slow down. Every second you spend replaying the pain is a second you could have spent building your future. Forward is where your life is. Forward is where your power is. You don't owe them another moment of your time. The wound they left doesn't deserve to be your identity. If you keep staring at it, feeding it with your energy, it becomes who you are. And you are so much more than what someone did to you. When you focus forward, you strip them of the power to define you. You stop giving them free rent in your mind. The best part? They can't follow you into the future you're creating unless you allow them to. The road ahead is for those who match your vision, your values, and your growth, not those who try to chain you to yesterday. But moving forward isn't just about ignoring the pain. It's about redirecting your fire. It's about using the lessons to make you sharper, smarter, and stronger. You've already survived what they tried to do to you. That means you've already proven you can handle hard things. Now, the question isn't, why did this happen? It's, what will I build because it happened? Stop looking for them in the crowd. Stop checking their life like it's some scoreboard. Whether they fail or succeed has nothing to do with you. Your mission is not to watch them. It's to become so focused on your next step that you forget they ever mattered. The forward path demands discipline. It means you train your mind to think in terms of possibilities, not past events. It means you measure your days by progress, not by pain. Every morning you choose to invest your energy in what moves you closer to your goals, not what drags you back to your wounds. And here's the hard part. Moving forward also means accepting that you may never get the answers you wanted. Some people will never explain themselves. They'll never apologize. They'll never admit what they did. That's fine. Let them live with their truth while you live in yours. Their silence is not your prison. Eyes ahead, shoulders squared, heart locked on the horizon. Because the moment you turn your back on the ones who tried to hold you down, they become irrelevant. The power shifts, and suddenly, you're not the person who was hurt. You're the person who refused to be stopped. When you focus forward, the past becomes nothing more than a stepping stone, a chapter you pass through, not the story you live in. And one day when you look back, you'll see that the pain didn't break you. It built you. Move forward so fast.